In this video, you're going to learn how to make networking suck less. Hi, my name is Matt, and I've been to dozens of networking events, hosted and been a part of many career panels, and have the ability to approach just about anybody. This is because I have subjected myself to painful amounts of embarrassment and have failed hundreds of times approaching to and talking to strangers. Now, before I give you the answers on how to make networking suck less, I want to clear something up. The main reason why most people struggle with networking is because it's pretty uncomfortable. Sometimes you'll feel like your investment of possible embarrassment isn't worth the reward. But you and me both know that the reward way outweighs the risk. Employees who are referred have a 4 times likely higher chance to get hired than those who don't. And those who don't build strong networks early on struggle to find the ability to get promoted and move to higher positions within their company. With that out of the way, let's get started. How can you put yourself into the right mindset when you're networking? You're probably feeling a bit overwhelmed already if you're coming to YouTube in order to look for support. But you're in the right mindset. There is an inherent unease and anxiety when it comes to approaching just about anybody. But since you're watching this video and spending time to actually learn something new, you already have an understanding of this concept. It's called having skin in the game. Having skin in the game is not a difficult concept to understand, but it is a little bit difficult to implement. By approaching a stranger, you are risking your pride. If the situation doesn't go well, you may be embarrassed, you may be laughed at, and you may be put into a situation where you won't know how to proceed. They could say, hey, why are you wearing this logo on your t-shirt at a networking event? But again, you and me both know that the risk does not outweigh the reward, especially when it comes to networking. I like to think of it as a 0 and a 1. Do you avoid opportunities because of fear of judgment and failure? Or do you take action despite uncertainty because you trust in your abilities? If you don't trust in your abilities, then you won't take the opportunity. But if you do trust in your abilities, you will get rewarded. In reality, when it comes to networking and going to these events, there is no harm and no foul with whatever you do. By putting your skin in the game, by going to this event, by actually putting some risk out and some sort of attempt to become better, to build a network, you are risking something that's very small for a very high reward. This is because if you cast a wider net, you're increasing your luck. Let's say you meet somebody at a networking event that becomes your best friend or becomes a mentor to you who's going to help you throughout your entire career process. The risk of meeting somebody and maybe fumbling a conversation is totally less than the reward of meeting somebody who's going to mentor you for your entire career. So do not be afraid of attending networking events. There is nothing wrong with what you are doing. Put yourself in the mindset of somebody who is accountable, who puts skin in the game, and who is able to get things done. If you adopt this mindset, I'm certain networking will suck much less for you because you won't feel like it's forced. You'll feel like you are playing a game that you are going to win. Now you're probably thinking, I'm in the right mindset. Now how do I actually gain the confidence to attend these events and actually approach people? I feel like when I look at somebody, I just can't muster the confidence to say hi and say hello. That's why I'm gonna ask you a question. Are you somebody who you would approach and actually take the time to have a conversation with? Are you looking like and making a first impression as somebody who is worth networking with? If you're attending events and you're wearing a sweater that you got from some other tech conference months or years ago, and you're unclean shaven and your hair is all messy and it doesn't seem like you're really taking the event seriously, I'm certain that people who may take themselves seriously in a different way or who really care about and focus on like preparing and presenting themselves good would not want to or are less likely to approach you. If we want to cast a wide net and increase our chances of getting lucky, of meeting people who are going to help and benefit our career, we want to appear as visually approachable as possible. So I'll say this, create a checklist of non-negotiable things that you need to do before going to any sort of event. For me, that's making sure I'm clean shaven, making sure that I'm wearing clothes that make me feel confident, and making sure that I at least have some sort of haircut or some sort of hairstyle that doesn't make me look crazy. If you have all these things behind you, you're gonna have one more level of confidence so you can actually go out and approach somebody and start a conversation. Now, speaking of starting a conversation, let's talk about how to actually get started when having a conversation with somebody. This might seem like I'm oversimplifying things, but in reality, most conversations are the same. You exchange pleasantries, you say, where do you work? What do you do? And this can sometimes lead to super flat and super uninteresting conversations because you're just going through the motions. A framework that I adopt when I'm trying to approach somebody new or have a conversation with somebody is I'll talk directly about the environment that I'm in. I will state the obvious. Observe the environment that's around you and state something that is peculiar or there's something weird with it. For example, I was at a networking event last week and I wanted to approach somebody who looked like they were working on something that seemed really interesting. I felt like I couldn't approach them because they were sitting down, they were working on their computer, and then they had food right next to them as well. I noticed that the food that they had was a mushroom pizza slice. And I'm like, mushroom pizza? Who likes mushroom pizza? And okay, pizza, you can put whatever you want on a pizza, but I walked up to this person and I said, why'd you pick mushroom pizza? Is it any good? And she said, yes, it is good. And I was like, oh, sweet, I guess I have to grab a slice. What's your name? And the conversation led on from there. If you are genuinely excited by something or you genuinely observe something that is confusing or feels like something that is worth talking about, then talk about it. Most people are thinking the exact same thing or have the same notion or like, oh yeah, I was going to say that too, but they usually don't speak up. This is because they feel like they want somebody else to talk for them, or they feel too pressured by outside society to not start a conversation and to not just observe the obvious. They're thinking it, but they're not saying it. So be the conductor and be the person who starts the conversation by just saying it out loud. Man, the food here is great. What did you get? Oh, and then what do you do? And then continue the conversation there. It doesn't have to be super creative. You don't have to come up with anything insane. Just be like, hey, I really like your shoes. And you better actually like their shoes because if you don't, then you're just having a fake conversation. Be genuinely excited and just state the obvious. If somebody put effort into something, if there's something that's observable and that you can understand and see, you can start any conversation by just saying, hey, I'm observing that. Are you observing that as well? And the conversation can go from there. Since this video is very comprehensive on how to make networking suck less, I want to talk specifically about how to actually get somebody's information and actually create a connection with somebody while you're having a conversation with them. Now, my framework for this might be a little bit different than others. I actually don't usually outwardly ask for, hey, what's your LinkedIn? Hey, can I connect with you? Hey, on like the first conversation. The framework that I operate by when I am talking and networking with people is just how much value can I provide to them? Because with making a connection and with making a relationship that's going to last a long time, I really just recommend just keep giving and keep sharing as much knowledge as you can, because if you guys are both trying to get to a similar goal, then there's nothing wrong with you helping each other out. Obviously, you don't want to share all of your deepest and darkest secrets with this person the first day that you meet them, but it's completely fine to share something that you learned or show something that you think might help them. You also don't want to sound like a jerk here, being like, you're doing everything wrong. You say, hey, this is what worked for me. Are you interested? Would you like to see how I did it? And that's something that I think that is very useful and kind of the easiest way to operate by when you're networking with people or just in general. So I'll give you an example. I went to a networking event and I bought a digital business card, but when you buy digital business cards, you usually have to buy them in a pack of 20 or 30. What I did was I went to this event and I just handed out as many business cards as I can that were empty. I said, hey, look, this is how my business card works. You tap it on here, you get all my social media, you get everything. You can connect with me there, or here, if you want to do it yourself, you can download this app, log in, put the information on your card, and then you can have your own business card that you can share with other people as well. It cost me close to nothing to buy those business cards, but I'm certain whenever somebody pulls out a business card that I personally gave them, they're going to remember, hey, didn't that guy give me a business card? And oh yeah, what was his YouTube again? What was his thing again? Like, you completely have a part in that person's life now because you provided value for them and actually genuinely, hopefully, changed their life. You don't have to give a Socrates level insights or share something that's going to completely change your life within the first 5 seconds of meeting somebody, but if you have something to provide or some sort of insight or some sort of knowledge, why not share it? This type of thing is what makes networks strong. People working together. And that's essentially the strong type of network that you want to build. How can somebody help you? How can you help them? And then you just keep building yourself up until you reach your ultimate goals. I don't recommend that you go around handing out chocolates to people. I recommend that you use your perspective when you start that conversation to actually talk about the problems that that person is having and maybe give some input or maybe not. So if you don't have any insight into how you can solve a problem, let's say somebody's struggling with their taxes as a creator. And all I can say is, hey, I don't really know much about taxes, but I know these guys, Carrot Financial, they probably know a lot about taxes and how to do stuff. I can try connecting you with them. There's no problem with offloading your responsibility or your knowledge to another person who is way more experienced and knows way more than you. Being able to be honest and say, hey, I'm not really sure, and this is a person that might know more, is completely fine. And that actually demonstrates that you have some level of humility when it comes to knowing things. I talked about how to mentally prepare yourself, how to physically prepare yourself, how to start a conversation, and how to lead into a conversation that would have some sort of result. But I want to talk about asking for help. This is something that I honestly struggle with a little bit because asking for help is difficult. It's not easy to go up to somebody and say, hey, we met and I really need your help with this. Can you help me find a job? Can you help me do this? Like, that is something I haven't exactly mastered, but I have some sort of idea or some sort of framework that I try doing when I am asking for help. Usually, I just pose questions as, hey, I'm really struggling with this, and I feel like you're an expert at this. Can you help me, please? And if they don't respond, if nothing works out, then that's completely fine. But it's not so much about the request, it's more about how many times you have interacted with that person since networking with them. You don't want to be in a relationship where you just call and be like, hey, I need your help now, please help me. And the other person's like, well, I haven't heard from you in 2 years, and we met at some event. I don't even know how you're doing. And remember when I helped you last time? You didn't even call back or let me know what you did or how the thing that I helped you with worked out. So why should I help you? This happens more than you would expect. If somebody is actually reaching out to you and asking for help, you provide them help, and then they don't check back in with you, why would you want to help them again? You need to stay on top of your relationships by continuously following up. Let people know what you're up to. LinkedIn is a great place for this. Let's say you get a new job. You can post it on LinkedIn. Let's say you find out or you went to an event that was especially inspiring or you learned something new. Share that with your community. It's okay to be open and share knowledge with your network. That's what they're there for. Hopefully, if you continuously check in, if you say, hey, hope you're doing well, happy holidays, happy Memorial Day, happy whatever, they're going to not only reciprocate that, but in the future, months, years, maybe however long from now, they'll also give you some sort of help down the line. And you'll give them some sort of help down the line as well. Now, let's summarize how to make networking suck less. First, have the correct mindset when going in. You are putting skin in the game to get the reward of having a great network, and there's not really much risk associated with that. You may think that being judged socially or not having a great conversation is something that you need to fear and be really afraid of, but trust me, people for millennia have been failing and not having good conversations, and people with millennia who have great networks have also been succeeding for generations. If you don't think that having a network is worth it, then why is everybody who has a network succeeding or doing well or able to ask for help or able to get a job faster? Next, you need to prepare yourself by acting and being somebody that you would want to network with. This means taking care of your hygiene, looking the best that you possibly can, and feeling like it as well. Be confident and look confident as you go and approach new people. And as you approach new people, a great framework to actually start a conversation with somebody is by stating the obvious. Hey, that pizza flavor that you're eating, do you actually like that, or was that the only slice left? Something like that, right? Be funny, be open, and just be willing to observe things that people are already observing, but they just might not want to say it. Don't be brash. Don't be like, yeah, wow, that guy's shoe sucks. No, be positive, be open, and just be willing to start a conversation and then lead into the value that you can add rather than the value that you can take from another person. My last point was that networking is reciprocal. If you are giving value to somebody, they eventually will give you value down the line as well. I fundamentally try helping and try building up other people as much as I can. Don't think about it as, oh, I'm putting in time and effort now so I can get paid off in the end. I think a bit more like this is something that I actually enjoy doing, connecting with people, keeping up with people in my community, and just seeing what they're up to. There's nothing wrong with that, and I'm certain that a lot more people would actually like to hear from you than wouldn't like to hear from you. Networking can sometimes suck, but we both know that the reward way outweighs the risk. Put some skin in the game, go out there, go network, attend events that are related to your domain, and just be somebody who is approachable, easy to talk to, and have some fun with it. It's really not that scary. you're going to do great. And the fact that you're even watching this video already means that you're one step ahead of everybody else who doesn't network. Now, if you're asking, how can I actually implement all these things and make it less painful when I go out and talk to people, you need to actually put some skin in the game with practice. Now, I wouldn't go and practice talking from the mirror. I would actually practice just using AI. And that's why I left in the comments down below a ChatGPT bot that can help you conversate and have a networking conversation as if it were real life. I set up the situation to be that the person you're networking with is a little bit tired at the end of the day. He's more curious on how this event can help him, and you're just trying to break down his walls and just have a conversation with them that's going to lead to something great. I made it somewhat engineering specific, but if you would like to change that, you can always change the settings down below. So please check in the description down below this ChatGPT bot. All you have to do is just sign up with your email, and that's it. I really appreciate you guys watching. If you really enjoy this content, please leave a like, and I hope to see you in the next video. My name is Matt, the Naval Ravikant. I hope you learned something. Peace.